Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC, a podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. And this week we're doing the thing that I do every now and then, where we push the boat out, we get someone on who isn't really a Minecraft creator. They're not a Minecraft creator, I can say that. Today, I'm joined with Lolipopgi.
Hello, I'm Lolipopgi.
How are you?
Oh, great. Yeah, great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Other than the fact that I had to postpone this podcast for silly reasons, I'm doing good. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you did. It was a bit of a silly reason. Do you want to talk about it?
I won't spend too much time on it because of the whole postponing thing. Sadly, it means our schedules aren't as open as they were yesterday. But to put it bluntly here for you listeners, I went all the way home, which is an hour from work, realized I didn't have my keys, went all the way back to work, and the keys were just hanging in the shutter. I was very, very lucky, but I didn't tell my boss that.
Well, we at least sort of agreed that we're in the same boat, because I literally also did that yesterday, but luckily it was in my literal front door. I left my keys in my front door for 5-10 minutes.
The problem is I don't know what I'd rather is the issue, right? Because okay, I leave my keys in my front door, but then I live in like a tower block, so it wouldn't be as bad. But then also it's my house. However, if I leave the keys at work, anything that's stolen or damaged, if someone took the keys and went in, for example, I'd probably lose my job, you know? So it's like a double-edged sword, really. It's
all bad, isn't it? But luckily we're both fine and we both have our keys.
True, exactly. Well, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. And as we've mentioned there, I always like to do the introduction here, for you to promote yourself. God, I'm really butchering my sentences today. I'm so sorry. Who are you? What do you do? And if you have a fun fact either about yourself or in general, floor's yours.
So I'm a Twitch streamer. I know there's so many of them these days. I mostly stream on Twitch, variety games, sometimes Minecraft. You'd be surprised, it comes up. And a fun fact about me, oh god, I guess a lot of people already know this, but I have two rabbits, two house rabbits that I live with. And they are called Jasper and Maple, and they are kind of the best. Besides that, god, I don't have any you put me on the spot here, dude.
Well, it doesn't have to be about you. It can just be a fun fact, just a random fun fact. But my go-to fun fact, and I'm not going to repeat it today unless you really want to hear it, is my safety fun fact is about castles. I have a castle fun fact that I tell everyone. So,
okay, what is that?
Oh, you do want to hear it? Okay. The regulars are going to hate me because I mention it the majority of podcasts. So they're just going to be listening to this the fun fact again. Oh my God. So to dumb it down very, very quickly, castles are built with the staircase going up to the right and in single format to make attacks harder, because it's a lot harder to walk up attacking upwards firstly with your shield in your right hand because you're going up to the right, so you have to attack with your left hand, and also in single file to stop people from going up, and obviously if you kill someone and their body blocks the staircase.
I actually knew that, believe it or not, but not just because I'm British and I've been to castles, and I feel like that's the one that everyone learns when they go to castles, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to immediately crush it.
Well, no, it's the same way, because I'm part of the National Trust and English Heritage, so I go to a lot of castles. So it's cool. Just, I mean, to be fair, it's the only reason we do it is not because I'm this massive. I'm genuinely not a massive castle nerd. We don't even read the information. We just look at the cool pictures. It's like a child reading a book, but it's just it's a really good day out for me and my partner, because we pay £4 each for the National Trust. I pay about £2.50 for the English Heritage. Spending £6.50 a day. If you forget that petrol exists and sandwiches for lunch exists, right? You're basically getting a free day out every weekend because you've paid.
That sounds nice.
A cheap month, and you go around England to different castles or houses and stuff.
Well, the only fun fact I can think of, but I'm sure everyone already knows this, is that did you know that French fries are not French? They're Belgian. That's a fun one.
Do you know the Belgian waffle is actually Dutch?
Oh yeah, exactly. See, there you go.
I made that up.
There you go. Oh, okay.
I lied, I'm sorry. And
oh my god,
you did the default thing of just believing me.
Oh my god,
sorry for lying.
I trusted you. Now I feel super betrayed. What am I getting myself into, dude?
Well, the first time we met, you also really trusted me, and I really trusted you, which was quite nice. Do you remember our first interaction?
I do, yes. We were both doing a cheeky Minecraft event, and you said, for Jingle Jam, which I'm sure we'll get into.
We will.
And you said, don't suppose you fancy doing a quick interview? And I went, yeah, all right, because I wasn't really doing much, and I don't know what I'm doing half the time I play Minecraft. It was a little Minecraft event that we did. And you asked me a few questions, and I just thought, oh, this this guy's really good at what he does. This is fun.
Aww,
and so
you.
when you asked me again, so like, oh, do you want to be on the Inside MCC podcast? I was like, yeah, go on then. That sounds fun. I'm sure you have a bunch of scary questions you're going to ask me. Do you want to? Yeah. What are you going to ask me exactly?
Well, that was the first scary one, but just seeing if you remember, because like I think in the end I ended up asking like 3 or 4 questions because we were both like I also don't really play Minecraft, so I was acting like a bot. Even like it's ironic, right? I run a Minecraft podcast, I organize Minecraft stuff, but I don't really play Minecraft myself. And so like during the event we ended up like talking, and then we had like one challenge where we had to build a house or something, and then we got swapped with players. So after like 30 minutes we just got split apart, and I was really sad.
I know. I just thought, where's my friend? Where's my friend Orbitzz? He's gone. I guess I'll just wing it, as you do. You meet a lot of people at these events, and so I was pleased that you remembered me. So that's good.
Well,
that's always nice if you make an impression.
I said it to you in the moment that I'd get you on, like I want to get you on the podcast, but then like I went on break in January because I just got really burnt out. So I took the entirety of January off, and then when I came back, like I'd had people scheduled, so I was like, you know what, I'll just wait. And then I got around to it, I was like, you know what, I realized I haven't invited you on, so I should probably get around to that, because I still wanted you on. I just realized I hadn't. So I was like, you know what,
oh, that's great,
let's shoot the invite. And now you're on at the perfect time, because a lot of stuff has been happening in my life, and a lot of stuff has been happening in your life recently as well. So
yeah. Although that's like there's a lot of personal stuff happening, and but now I'm living a whole new life of living alone and working for myself and earning for myself. It's been a wild time, I'll be honest, but I'm feeling good, like, and excited to say yes to things. So here I am.
Well, a very basic question I always like to ask near to the start, because we're very much past the start of the podcast now, is how did you get your name?
Oh yeah, Lolipopgi. Quite funny. I was talking to a childhood friend of mine, and he thought it was really funny that my Twitch name was this, because I'd had it for a long time, and I first chose it when I was 11, as you do. Always happens, right? We all do it. It was a nickname that my mum gave me. My mum, who's from Hong Kong, speaks Cantonese, and my nickname growing up was Lollipop, just based on like my name's Laura. My actual name's Laura. Lollipop is a normal nickname for someone called Laura or Lauren or whatever. And adding Jai on the end is like, I'm not pronouncing it like super Chinese. It essentially is the equivalent of Japanese Chan. You know, when people say like, oh, Lollipop Chan, it's like Lollipop Chan, but in Cantonese. So like,
okay,
like cute, like a cute little honorific for me, Lollipop. So she used to call me that growing up, like Lollipop Jai. Like, oh, that's cute. And so I just made it my Neopets username, and then it just stuck because it's not exactly a common name. It's very unique, certainly spelt the way it is. A lot of people think it's Lollipop Girl or something, like GI stands or something. Like, nope, it's just Chinese. It's like Chinese-ish, and that's why it's called that. But the only reason I kept it was because I had it as my Twitch account name. And then when I got into streaming, which, I mean, we can go into more if you want. When I started streaming, I had no plan of taking it anywhere, like career-wise. So I wasn't really thinking about, oh, what should I call my channel name for, like, discoverability, like how easy is it to find me and all that stuff. I just chose it because it was what I already had. And then after that, it just kind of like, well, I don't want to change it now because people know me as it. And it's fine, honestly. It's a bit awkward because every time someone asks, oh, how do you pronounce it, they're always getting it wrong the first time, which I think is like the one regret I have.
The two I said, and I'll be honest here, was, and as I mentioned it before the podcast, was either Lolipopgi or Lolipopgi. Like Gi in case of like, oh, you went down the road of it not being pronounced G, and then you did go down the route of it not being pronounced G, but instead it's Jai. Oh, well, not that you chose to go down the route, but you get the idea. So,
yeah, I mean, when you're
cool
11.
Name.
Oh, thanks.
No,
right. It's unique at the end of the day. So, and but interestingly, even though a lot of people, I used to go by Lolly a lot. That was like my nickname for the longest time. Thanks to Japan, I can't really call myself that, it turns out, anymore. I'm not going to go into why.
True, yeah.
But like, it would always get caught in the Twitch auto mod. So then it was just becoming like, but people can't even say hi to me without it being like a bad word. So I had to pivot, and I was like, okay, maybe I should get people to call me Lollipop. That's a bit better. But a friend of mine, who you might know, Let's Game It Out, he started calling me Lollip all the time, just decided to start calling me Lollip, and it stuck. So now everyone calls me Lollip, including everyone in Yogscast, people in my chat, and that's how I often introduce myself to people, is Lollip. And that is truly unique. There is not another Lollip. I'll be honest, so you know it's me. at least. So that's my name story, I suppose.
And that's the name I'll be using if I reference you for the rest of this podcast, because I don't want to keep full naming you.
Yes, Lolip is perfect. Yes.
So, Lolip, you mentioned there how when you started up Twitch, you said use as your name. What year did you start Twitch, or what age? Depending on which one you remember.
Well, I, like many people, started doing Twitch during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Or rather, I started watching Twitch during COVID. I always kind of sort of had a Twitch account because I used to watch League of Legends. I used to watch League of Legends professional play all the time, and so I had an account, but I never talked or anything, never did anything like that. And occasionally I watched GDQ or something. And then in 2020, this wonderful game called Satisfactory came out into early access, and I was really, really into not just playing it, but watching other people play it so I could learn the game better. And Satisfactory was the first game that I ever really took an interest in the sort of content creation side of things, besides maybe The Sims or whatever. And so at that point, I was like, okay, why don't I watch these YouTube videos to learn some tips and tricks as you do, And then that translated into watching that YouTuber's Twitch stream. And then suddenly it was like I was looking forward to always watching a particular creator. His name's Total Eclipse, and he's still doing great. He's still making satisfactory content. And it kind of brought me into the Twitch culture, which I think is, often the story for people is that it just takes one creator to bring them over to Twitch. And then all of a sudden they realize, oh, there's this whole wonderful community of people that, I can do my office job, because that's what I used to do my office job and have a stream on the background, really be part of this lovely community of, and it was really exciting to be like, oh, I type a message in chat to somebody and the streamer responds to me basically in real time. It's crazy. It's just so fun. And then after that, I thought, well, as you do, I wonder if I could give streaming a chance. And truly, the first time I ever tried streaming properly, I tried streaming Satisfactory, and it was a mistake. I didn't like it at all. I thought, I'm not cut out for this at all. And I just was glad I tried, but realized that, streaming's not really for me, clearly. It's not my vibe. I don't think I've got the skill set for it. It's not for me. Fast forward 3 months later, and I felt compelled to stream again, but this time I chose a different game. I chose Fallout New Vegas, one of my favorite games of all time. And suddenly it clicked, and it felt really good, and it felt really natural. And then I knew that I wanted to keep trying, if not just as a hobby, because it just felt like a nice creative outlet. And it really, really took off after that. I just got really into it, truly obsessed. And when you're working from home, it's quite easy to get distracted at work, because I'm just I should be doing my manager job, and all I'm doing is looking what alerts can I make, or what fun games can I stream next, it just all that stuff just wound up really taking over, and it really became fully an obsession. That's when you know that this could be something I could really do well and turn into something of a career. And I did. It was awesome. It was great. I feel so fortunate. So much more to this, but the main takeaway is that it's funny how originally I didn't care about Twitch, and then in the space of a few months I didn't even want to stream, and suddenly I did, and now I do it for a living. I've been doing it for 5 years now, and I'm so glad I tried. That's
part of the reason why I'm just not streaming so much at the moment, is because I enjoy streaming, but right now I don't really enjoy playing games, which I mean I do, but I don't. I don't really enjoy playing Minecraft, so I don't want to stream that. And then there's other games I want to play, sure, but then I don't enjoy streaming them, because then it gets low viewer counts and chat's quiet because of it. And I know it's just a thing that you kind of have to look past and get past. It also kind of combines with the busyness, because with InsideMC, and this is the first podcast I can talk about it on, because it's officially announced now, the Crafted Together Awards. I'm hosting a massive award show hosted inside Minecraft for Minecraft content creators. I'm really excited for it, and I haven't been able to talk about it because it only got announced last week. So sorry listeners, my dog is barking because my dad is home and I'm not cutting this part out. But so I've been so busy with that and this, and also spending time with my partner, and then I'm a supervisor at my job, so I work in a barista job. I'm basically always on call, and my colleagues are always calling in sick, so I'm just working around the clock right now. This and that, and it's that's why I just kind of put streaming on the back burner. As much as I want to enjoy it, I can't right now, sadly.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that it becomes easy to make time for it when you sense that as real success as well. So if you find that when you're streaming it's like chat's a bit quiet, viewership's not great or whatever. I feel as though if I didn't have that level of success, it's possible that I might have just like given up on it too, instead of say what actually happened was that I wound up earning more money within the first 3 months than I did in my main job as a manager. You know,
insane,
that's usually that's pretty motivating, to be honest. But it did take me several months to finally quit my job. Like I think I must have done it for like 10 months before I finally took the leap, and that was after several months of high earnings, you know. But I'm glad I waited, because then I knew for sure.
I have mentioned it on the podcast before, but like when I first started off content creation, so like Minecraft content creation, I started with like command block tutorials and redstone tutorials, and from like a very early point, like very early point, I was earning maybe about 400 500 pounds a month, and this was like from starting. I'm about working a warehouse job, so I had all the time in the world. And I think like, and it was also before COVID, so I was like, if I had carried on doing command block tutorials into COVID, which I stopped before COVID started, like I'm like in two worlds about it. I'm in one world because like it looked like it was going to be really successful in regards to my channel and financially. I kind of wish I carried it on, but also, and like ironically, I wouldn't be on this podcast or talking to you right now if I had carried it on. It's like a thing of like, I wouldn't go back and change it, but I would love to go back and see how it would have went, kind of thing. But I still feel like even if that was successful and earned me loads of money, I think I still would have wanted to stay here, because that was actually, no, I started doing YouTube command tutorials before I got my job, and then I slowed down and then got a job because the money wasn't as good, and then I met my partner at that job that I worked for. It's all like a big chain of things, but also at the same time it's like, again, I wouldn't want to go back and change it. I just want to go back and see how things would have been different, basically.
Yeah, a friend of mine recently brought up the phrase sliding doors moment. Are you familiar with this phrase?
No, I'm not.
So from what I understand, it might be based on the film, which possibly was based on a book, which is essentially the story of a woman who either gets on the train or doesn't get on the train. So the sliding doors represents the sliding doors of a train, right? And if she did get on the train, she would turn up, find her partner cheating on her, and she would break up with him and would start this whole different life. But she didn't get on the train. She wouldn't find out. And so she would have continued life with him and all that stuff. So it's like you basically see both sides of the story. You see one timeline where she does get on the train and one timeline when she doesn't. And you just see it run in parallels. So the idea that, oh, if I didn't do this really small thing, if I didn't, get on that train, my whole life would have been completely different. I would have had a totally different path in life. And it sounds like that's something that you would be curious to see play out sometime.
I think realistically speaking, I don't think I'd want to see what it's like, because like I don't want to change my life, but then also if my life was better, I feel like I'd be compelled to. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it. I know like, oh, it sounds weird, what, you wouldn't want to have a better life, but then also like I wouldn't really know how. Like, okay, if I could now look in the mirror and it showed me what I'd look like, my finances, all this kind of jazz of there, it'd be like, okay, but then I also wouldn't know what's happened in that life for me to get to that point, like what I've done or what's been happened around me, blah 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 blah. So I feel like I still feel like I'd be fine like this.
I totally get it. I'm the same when it comes to those hypothetical questions. So for example, if someone says something as simple as, Lollip, would you shave your head for $1 million? That kind of thing. And because I'm pretty content with my life and therefore I'm content with my finances, I don't like the idea of changing my trajectory for a life-changing amount of money even then, because I would have to be really, really, really unhappy in my existing life. But I know a lot of people would be like, yeah, of course I would. I know it's just shaving one's head, but if I shave my head, it becomes like a whole different, like, it's so stupid. But unfortunately, like even in like Twitch streaming, me having like a drastic change to my appearance could potentially affect my career. It's really annoying and it's just a sad reality of things. It very well could, and so like stuff like that, when people ask those questions, it's like, oh, would you if you got £5 million to like not stream for a whole year, it's just an easy no for me. Like I want to live the life I'm currently leading, even if that crazy life-changing amount of money is on the table. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, so this is going to sound weird to a lot of people, but I don't really care. So I do the Euro Millions, right? I just do them. But I don't do the Euro Millions, I do the Euro Million Hot Picks. and I only do unquote only do 4 numbers on a Euro Million hot pitch, right, which is 30k. Like, but for an extra number, I could just enter the Euro Millions, and if I win it, win like 14 million or whatever the money is at the time, right? But the thing is, like, you know, as much as winning 14 million would be really, really cool, I have kind of like a life plan, and part of me just like, you know, I do 4 numbers because if you get 4 numbers, you win 30k, which is like, it's not life-changing money, but it's nice to have 30k, you know, like, I'm not complaining about that. But at the same time, like, I have such a set plan in life and stuff like that. I think if someone just kept like walked around the corner and handed me 15 million, I'd be like, this is cool, what the fuck do I do with it? I think like if it's slowly like I also do the set for life. I think set for life, I'd love, that's my ideal win. If I could win the set for life where you get 10k a month for 30 years, that's perfect, right? Because it's coming in slow increments where I can kind of process that I've just earned this money. Whereas I feel like I'd figure it out in the end, but like there's just something about earning it with a little bit of a handout, so i.e. earning my money with the Euro Million hot picks. It just feels so much better than, like, you know, I don't gamble, like I do the lottery and stuff like that, like, but that's a set amount that I spend every single month. But I don't really do gambling or anything. It's really weird, but it's just how my brain works.
Yeah, it's definitely mindset, because we can't possibly predict these things, like, truly. Exactly. We can all pretend like, oh, I know what I'm doing, you know, like day trading and all that nonsense, but the reality is that a lot of it is luck or some kind of insider knowledge, which is just like, you cannot simply control. So as long as we see it as it is, which is luck. But yeah, in the sense that it's just money, and which I realize it might come across a little privileged to say that, but the way I see it is, at least for me, I feel as though maybe I'm perhaps privileged to be able to say this, so forgive me, but it's so much more important to have like time. Like, time is so valuable. Time and self-confidence, self-love, and then obviously all the other stuff like family and all that stuff obviously is super important. But that's why when I think like, oh, if someone would, if you changed it to not be, say, like, oh, you can have $5 million if you blah 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 do this, if it was something along the lines of like, I can take away all of your anxiety, self-esteem issues, like that to me is so much more valuable, because that allows me to live my life with way more like purpose and focus, and then I could earn that money, you know, as opposed to just being handed money and then, like you said, what do I even do with this? You know, I'm still depressed. So what like I could do with that kind of like, that would be my preference. I mean, even then, I really status quo driven.
My dad has this, and I mean, I agree with it in a general sense, but I don't agree with it because I'm currently 22 trying to save to move out. But like he's saying is like, you can't take it with you, which is 100% true. Also, if I had that mentality at my age, like, I'm never going to progress in life, because again, I want to buy a house or like rent a place and move out of like my parents. But like and I also had the thing of like, do you know, like, people go like money doesn't buy happiness. I think they're 100% true, but as of recently, like since I've kind of got my shit together and actually been saving a fair bit, like, I'm quite happy. But I've also not got like millions, right? I've just got enough to be like, yeah, I'm satisfied with like my finances right now. Like, I'm really proud of myself. So I think in that sense, money buys happiness. But I think again, if I won 15 million, it's like, yeah, this is sick, but I think it buys a lot more stress than it does like, if someone wants to give me 15 million, like fair play, feel free to. I'm not saying no.
I mean,
at the same time, I just don't really know what I would do with it in a very hypothetical sense, which is this entire discussion right now. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think that if it's that much money, goodness me, I think that I would.
Yeah, like, we're not going to
probably
say no
just give a lot to charity. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of money for someone who really enjoys a simple life. Truly, like, I think I would say, okay, yeah, I would like to buy my ideal house, my ideal car, and then enough to retire and all that stuff, or enough to not stress about making money. But then the rest I'd probably just give away, because then it's just going to sit there. Like, I don't know, it'll just sit there. It could go to something more meaningful, like literally any charitable cause that I
have a pretty good, you know what I mean, for a charity.
Okay, yeah.
Jingle Jam.
Oh my goodness, Jingle Jam. We're going to talk about Jingle Jam.
I mean, unless you have more to say about this, I feel like it's a pretty good segue. That.
No, I'm happy to talk about Jingle Jam. Yeah, happily. Oh, sorry, that was me dropping something.
Every single year, and it's happening again this year, I bring on Roofberry to talk about Jingle Jam. Every single Christmas since 2023, they've made an appearance on the podcast in December to talk about Jingle Jam. So for anyone who is a consistent listener, you'll know about it. But however, those of you who aren't, and maybe are just listening to this for the first time or whatever, what is Jingle Jam?
So Jingle Jam is a huge gaming fundraiser where a selection of charities are chosen by a committee, where the way that it works is the Jingle Jam committee, essentially, that includes Yogscast and other trustees, will select like charities that have to apply. And then what they do is they put together a large collection of video games from all kinds of genres, indie games, sometimes bigger games, and put them into one full collection. Sometimes it's loads of games, sometimes it's a small group of quality games, that kind of thing. And the idea is that you as a donator can donate £35. That's usually how it is. And you get all of these game codes in December. So it's crazy because it's such an easy way to incentivize people to donate to charity, because normally you would just do it out of like the kindness of your own heart, which is obviously great and does still happen. People still donate more than the £35, but it's a good incentive to get people to just like go, well, I'm paying basically not much money for like upwards of like 90 games. That was one year. It was just so many games that it feels like, oh, this is a great deal. And it winds up being like, really good deal, really good incentive. But then all along, whilst this is happening, it's over the 2 weeks, Yogscast himself run a 2 weeks of like jam-packed days of streams, shows, activities, all kinds, in order to raise money. And those streams tend to get like thousands and thousands of views across the whole world. Then equally, Jingle Jam is like a widespread charitable event where other streamers not in the Yogscast can also have their own fundraiser with the goal to bring up this one number for these wonderful charities. And it winds up being just like a really lovely time, especially around Christmas time. It feels like a really festive, very together, very uplifting event, and often is when like the really, really fun, crazy events happen, all in the name of charity. And it's just such a wholesome, lovely thing, and it's so much fun. I feel so like excited to be in the Yogscast specifically because I get to do some of the coolest things. Like they'll do parody game shows, they'll do tournaments, they'll do karaoke, and they'll do all kinds of like stuff, and they're like the production value is like pretty good. And so I get to get involved in stuff, and all I basically have to do is sort of turn up and bring my personality and raise a bunch of money. It's amazing. It's like the best thing I'm part of easily, and I'm just so excited for this year because it's just been brilliant so far.
I think as well, like that's all beautiful. But sorry, I know I'm so dead insane. I know it's all great. Like, I don't know how to respond because it's just you've promoted it so well. And normally I'd add something onto it, but I don't. But like in regards to like just the event itself, like Jingle Jam as a whole, and the charity aside, we kind of touched on it earlier, where it's also just a great way to bring creators together. I mean, like I know I mentioned it already, but like at the end of the day, we wouldn't be sitting here right now if we never met on Jingle Jam, right? And like because we're from two completely different worlds, two different communities, everything, right? But like because Bumpy Jake and Wadebox hosted an event, which they're actually hosting again this year, they've announced. That's how we interacted, and it's also like the same. A lot of people don't know this is the Spiffing Brit was in that event also, and because of it, I just shot. I didn't interact with Brit once, but I shot them a friend request because they were in the Discord. They accepted it. When I returned in February, they were the first guest on. So like as much as it was Wadebox and Jake who hosted the event, it was because of Jingle Jam that like that happened. So I think like, and also sorry, alongside that, and you mentioned it with the charity and stuff like that, is like raising like upwards of 10 million like every single year is mental, right? Like it's so cool, it's so impressive. And I'll be honest, I've never ever purchased the game thing, and I don't really know why I haven't. I just haven't got around to it, but also because like, so I run charity events myself under InsideMC. Like I organize charity events and stuff like that. We've raised about $11,000 in the last year, give or take. And yeah, which is sick, and I'm very, very proud of the community and stuff like that. But I also just don't, I mean I do occasionally, but I don't really tend to donate to charity myself because of the whole kind of saving to move out thing. But like also that's why I run the charity events and why I take part in things like Jingle Jam. Like there's I can't say too much, but for those who know about the announcement, there might be a plan with that as well. So it's really, really cool, and I'm glad it's nice to see you're so happy about it. Like I know obviously it's a very easy thing to be happy about, but you sound so passionate about it all, which is really sweet. Sorry, I kind of rambled a little bit there, apologies.
That's okay. Yeah, I feel very fortunate that I'm certainly in a position, obviously like I'm like decently older than you, so I'm in a much better position to donate if I'd like to. And so yeah, naturally of course I buy the bundle or collection every single year, but equally I'm in a privileged position where I have a platform and I have a community and an audience where I can contribute to in that way, which is to say, get people together, encouraging others to, donate as well, which I think is in and of itself valuable, because when you think about it, when I think about all the different charity events I do throughout the year, not just Jingle Jam, that money wouldn't have otherwise been raised if it weren't for me. So
exactly.
So I think that it's okay that you can admit I can't personally part with money because I'm 22 and trying to earn my way through life.
Like I've done donations before, like back in when I did a collab with Space Brownies, they were skin artists, right? Like we raised a certain amount. I think we together, like it wasn't like a crazy amount, which is not a bad thing, but I think it was like 30-40 pounds. And I said to them like I'd matched the donation. I was like, you know what, screw it. So I just donated £100 to a charity of their choice. It's like I still do, and I'm not using it as a flex, like I still do donations and stuff like that. It's just I'd much rather go about the route of like raising through, like I'm gonna do this. I think if I didn't run charity events and I only took part in them, then yeah, I'd slap a bunch of donations down. But right now, like I'm in a position where I can do it. I just like, you know, I'm satisfied with the whole raising thing, and I do donate on occasion, just not like every single week like I know some people would or can do.
No, of course. I mean, I don't think it needs to be like a competition. I don't think you need to, you know, be able to tell people, oh, I do donate to charity. I don't think anyone would think badly of you. At the end of the day, especially these days, obviously we're not going to get into it, but it's a little tough at the moment being British money-wise, and every penny is, you know, priceless, you know, it's important. And so, you know, our goal is to reach out to those who are more fortunate than we are, and certainly more fortunate than, you know, like, you know, charities need the fundraising in order to actually function, be able to do the good things that they do. We're able to find those who can part with it and be able to, like, you know, raise money that way, you know. And it to me, that's still important, because like I said, without us, that money may not have been raised at all. And, you know, it wouldn't have been raised at all. So I think it's okay to put it that way, you know. But not everyone has the funds, and that's totally fair. But I think it's cool that specifically with Jingle Jam, it's like you're not just giving money to charity and like not seeing it again. You're giving money to charity and you're getting a bunch of games in response. I think it's just a very good method at the end of the day. It's just encouraging those that otherwise wouldn't part with their money for charity. Now, again, I'm not judging these people. It's totally fine, totally fair. Yeah. But it's like, here you actually will get a reward out of it, and, you know, a bunch of games. And it works really well, where we're all kind of going, yes, it's for charity, but there's also like value in your donation on top of the fact that you're supporting incredibly wonderful causes. So I'm not stressed that, like, I would never judge someone if they were like, oh, I can't afford to donate money to charity. It's like, well, I understand. There are a lot of charities. There are a lot of charities, and we live in tough times. So
to be fair, it also boils down to the whole, like, I don't know what I'd do with 15 million. To be honest, I don't know what I'd do with all those games. Like, I feel like just a lot of them were just, I mean, some of the games are sick. Like, after talking to Ruth about it, some of the games that you guys offer is really, really cool. But also on the flip side, I don't know, like, my Steam account, I've like the games that I just don't want to be there, I've just hidden them because it's annoying to look at. And it's like, I just feel like I'd get annoyed looking at all the games. They'd be like, it's too many, too overstimulating, which is, again, such a weird thing to say about free games, but also super cool that you do it. Like, it's not to, you know, it's just me being my silly brain.
Well, to be fair, you get sent the game keys. You don't necessarily have to redeem them.
You get what I mean, though, like,
you know,
as a basis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like potentially, yeah. But yeah, I think most people do it not necessarily because they want all these games, but because it's like a twofold thing, right? You get a bunch of games, but also you get the feeling of like being able to contribute to something exciting. And we love seeing numbers go up. We love seeing milestones being hit during Jingle Jam. It's really exciting. That giant like progress bar of how things are going is really fun. I was actually very fortunate that my first Jingle Jam, I was leading the stream that got us to 3 million. It was the most coolest, most exciting feeling to be there when we hit 3 million pounds, and being like, this is in part because of like something I personally contributed to. You know, I ran the event. I, you know, put in sort of like, well, it was a satisfactory stream basically. And I said, if you donate this much, I'll put this in the game. You know, I'll make you a billboard with your name on it. And that really, really got people to donate. And so when we hit 3 million during the stream, I just felt like this is the coolest thing I've ever done. You know, it was magical. So I can at least like look back on that and be proud. I actually took a screenshot of that, but on Facebook. Do you remember Facebook? I never touched that platform, but I did that time because it was just so. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little before your time.
Well, no, I mean, I used to use it. I just don't care for it anymore. So.
Oh no, same. Yeah, that's what I mean by that was the level of like pride I felt. Was that I even put it
No, it was amazing.
On Facebook. Because I just wanted to be like, look at this cool thing I was part of, No,
it's really sweet. I don't mean to be downplaying or finding things wrong about the whole games thing. I mean, I love Jingle Jam. If I didn't, I wouldn't have been part in it, and I wouldn't be talking about it now or do the podcast and stuff like that. I'm just saying my brain is just goofy sometimes, but I think as a whole, and it's why I wanted to bring it up, is just Jingle Jam is so amazing. And if you want to hear more about it and learn more about it, because we won't spend too much time here because of wanting to talk about other stuff, but there'll be a podcast in December, most likely with Ruthberry, as long as they can make it, about Jingle Jam. It's just become a yearly tradition now. Or go and listen to the last two so you can learn more about it. Or go and join Lolip's stream and ask about it. Be like, what is Jingle Jam? Please, you mentioned on the podcast. Can you explain to us, give us a full rundown of your life about it?
Yeah, I would be happy to. I'll be thrilled.
Yeah, no, very, very sick. And it's just, yeah. I mean, that as well, that achievement you mentioned there, it was 3 million, right? Just before I said a wrong number here.
Yeah,
that's
another
insane.
big deal.
And that year probably went up to about 10 million, 11 million, right?
Oh, you're actually getting your numbers a bit wrong, I'm afraid. Jingle Jam doesn't normally make it past. I'd say that first year was it was that first one since all the COVID nonsense basically. And so that year, which was 2022, I think, that was we made just over 3 million, and the following year was 2 million something, and the following year was 2 million something. I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah. So it getting to 3 million is pretty crazy because we haven't got back to that for a few years now. But which is fine. Again, things change. I think that Twitch was having a bit of a boom back in 2022, because that was just the peak of Twitch viewership was around 2020 to 2022 was when people were watching Twitch a lot more than usual. And then once everyone started going back to work, then viewership naturally
dropped,
dipped with Twitch. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how I've got the numbers so wrong there. Sorry for that.
It's okay. It's still very impressive.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. There we go. Yeah, sorry. Has raised over 27.5 million for charities. I think that might be where I'm getting wrong, is that I have read that and just in my brain processed it as per year for some, or as a thing. But no, yeah. Insane numbers regardless. Over 1 million is just mental. Because I 1 year they did it, you guys did it in 24 hours, didn't you? You hit 1 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm remembering it was actually, I think, that year, 2022. Yeah, we got to 1 million so quickly. So quickly. It was that first day. And it just was remarkable that they could do so much, considering it was day one of 2 weeks of a 2 week possibility. And just, naturally makes sense. Everyone buys the bundle immediately. The collection buys the collection immediately. But it was just, the was remarkable, and I couldn't believe I was a part of it. It felt so humbling, in that moment.
Do you have anything else to mention about Jingle Jam? We covered it very well.
I don't think so. No, I'd say that's probably it, yeah.
Before we move on to the next big thing, random interval here. I've heard you can do a very good Queen Elizabeth impression.
Oh, for God's sake. Jesus. It's been so long since I've done it, actually. I vowed to stop doing it so much after she passed away, but...
Oh, you don't have to. It's just I feel like it'd be...
Well, I can certainly try. She talks in a little bit. I've been out of practice, but I've got to talk very posh and very soft-spoken, that sort of thing. And if we were to talk about Jingle Jam, we'd go very, very soft, very posh. And I would sometimes just go a little bit crazy and start making us say stupid things like, don't forget to follow me on twitch.tv/LizzieBeth69. And don't forget to put your PogChamps in the chat. PogChamps in the chat, everybody.
I'm just gonna have to take your word for it and say that's what she sounds like, because I've never ever once heard her voice.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What kind of Brit are you?
I don't. Oh God, I know. I don't want to say this though. I'll say it on the podcast. I don't really care too much about the royal family. I'm not that I don't disregard them, because obviously they're the things of the country and all that kind of jazz. I just don't keep up with it. When I saw people oh my God, Meghan's pregnant, I'm just all right, cool. I don't really care.
To be fair. Once Lizzie passed, there's literally nothing about the royal family that anyone can care about anymore.
There's no more law, yeah.
That's it now. She's gone. She was truly a remarkable person, and now she's gone. We're just left with a bunch of kind of idiots that just have no charm and personality or anything interesting about them, truly. Just a bunch of rich people in a big house, or people that have, or like in the case of Meghan Markle, it just feels like all of the cynical things about the British media just like condensed into one person, hating on her for being a woman, hating on her for being half black, everything, hating on her for being American, and it's not,
people hate
it's not
for
that
anything.
It's a frustrating waste of time. Whereas at least with Lizzie, it was like she was just so old. She's just been around for so long, and she just made for like a fun and charming person to follow. And now that she's gone, it's like, I can't care at all anymore. And I know that's the case for a lot of people. We just can't care like we used to. So when she passed, even though she really is just a celebrity at the end of the day, I did actually feel quite sad, to be honest. It just felt like, I was so used to having her around. She was everywhere all times. And then she's just gone. And it's like, well, I don't care about them even remotely anymore. Not a single member of the royal family I care about. Not a single one. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of people, to be honest. And I think that's probably good, because I think idolizing the royal family is a waste of time. So don't worry, we're on the same page.
InsideMC, the Minecraft podcast where the only Minecraft related thing is the branding.
I know, I figured. Like, none of this is even game related, so I'm sorry if everyone's tuned out, but it is what it is, right?
I invite people on the podcast just to yap, right? It's just, to be fair, like I mentioned this last week as well with the guest I had on, is this podcast did very much start as an interview podcast, and for certain guests it is very much an interview podcast. But for a lot of people, it's just a conversation. Like, if I have like a childhood hero on the podcast, like, when I had Captain Sparkles on, like I was interviewing at Jerome ASF, I was like asking questions that 13-year-old me would want to know the answer to, like, how did you name your axe Betty and all this kind of jazz, right? Like that's what 13-year-old me wanted to know. Whereas now with you, obviously, you're my childhood hero as well. But, at the same time, we're just having a conversation. So,
Okay, well, perfect, yeah.
I didn't hear about... even though you started streaming in 2020, but, you get the idea.
I appreciate it. It's a nice sentiment regardless.
No, but like, it's nice. I mean, it's nice to do the interview. Like, obviously, I've asked you questions about more about you, but it's also fun just to have a conversation like this. I think it's healthy just to sometimes yap,
Yeah, sometimes it's good to, which is why I quite like doing interviews, especially when it comes to streaming, because I'm very passionate about it. And sometimes it's nice to be able to articulate these things, like with any passion that anyone has, why you like it so much and why you're doing what you're doing, and being able to remember, oh yeah, I have this wealth of knowledge and insight into something that perhaps others might not have, or maybe they do and they are excited to hear someone give their own take or to agree with whatever you're feeling or whatever. And that's what I tend to do when it comes to talking about streaming, is just I think about it all the time, and I have so many thoughts about it, about like growing your channel, what to stream, like how to be on stream, how to approach businesses, how to approach like business decisions, sponsorships, all that stuff. It's the kind of thing that I could talk about forever, and doing something like this is like a lovely excuse to be able to do that,
Yeah, exactly. I've given you a platform to yap, and you're choosing what you yap about. Easy.
That's kind of you, thank you.
No worries. Well, I mean, I'm not giving you a platform. I mean, as in, okay, right, InsideMC is very much an archive. It's the entire point of the podcast is for it to be treated as an archive that you can, if you decide to in 5 years' time, come back and listen and be like, oh, this was me 5 years ago? What? That's wow. And that's the whole point of it. That's why when I say give you a platform, it's like a lot easier for you to look back on a podcast that's been uploaded to YouTube than it is to like find a stream that you did 5 years ago, basically. So
for sure.
That's my point. There we go. So, well, time's getting slim, sadly, and obviously I know we're not like in a crazy rush, but we'll run through stuff. Well, not really run through it. Another big thing is that you're a member of the Yogscast.
I sure am, yes.
How did that come to be?
This was an interesting one. I think a lot of people have always been curious about how the Yogscast works, which is fair because it's a bit of a strange one. Unlike a lot of other content teams, it's very, very casual in a way. In a way, like Yogs has always been like a group of friends that played a bunch of games together. Why not make content together as well and make it a little more official? That was kind of the case for me, but not really. So unlike most of the members of Yogscast, I was connected to them via like a business acquaintance that we, a mutual, basically. And I basically said to him, I'm looking for more British creators to collaborate with. with and to connect with in person. Because the thing about streaming, and I'm sure every streamer who hears this kind of agrees, is that it's quite lonely. It can be very isolating. Even though we have our online friends, it really is we're sat at our desk and we're talking to essentially nobody, just a bunch of text, So being able to have connections in person, like people that you can actually talk to face, was something that I was really craving. This was back in 2022. And so he said, well, why don't you join so-and-so on his channel, whatever. So I did, so that I could get acquainted with people. And I met them in person. And, I had like the same sort of desire to, like, I had motivation to grow. I wanted to network with people, wanted to do stuff with other people, just get involved with fun stuff. And like Yogscast is just like oozing with stuff to do. Like there is not really any other content group I can think of quite like it, where there's a whole production team and there's a studio and there's an office and they have a whole bunch of connections, but also most importantly, like the group of people themselves are just so nice. They're British, which really is like nice for me. I just generally speaking like feel way more myself among British people. It's just a fact.
I'm British.
Yes, yeah. So I feel like I could just fully be myself with other British people. It is what it is, right? I can use my humor and I don't have to explain myself. Whereas to other cultures, it's a little more like, okay, I've got to do a little bit more, think about what I'm saying and not be too mean, but I can with British people, That's just how we are. And then I basically just hung out with them a bunch, and it didn't take very long for them to ask me to join. And then there's literally a contract and everything. And yeah, I went from being like just a little sort of like loner who had like a handful of online friends to like part of some like really crazy awesome things like Jingle Jam, like Tiny Teams, which is something we do every year, like Camp Yog, which is something we do every year. And I just wouldn't have any of those opportunities if I didn't join. I just feel really like fortunate that I was able to join when I joined, because now I'm still the last person to have joined Yogscast. I can't really speak on why I'm the last person, because there's certainly people that could join, but I feel lucky that I got in when I did, because now I have like a wealth of wonderful friends, and I've made connections that I never would have made. And it really was just down to just asking almost and being positioned well. And clearly I got along with people and they liked me and I was professional, and that's sort of how it worked in the end. Now I've formed some really wonderful close friendships that I could not have predicted. I could not have predicted joining Yogscast of all things. I didn't even know what Yogscast was, to be honest, for the longest time. And I wanted to have more British friends, more British streamer friends, and I got it, and more, pretty much. So that's it, really. Does that make sense?
No, no, it does. I get you. It's I can't really relate. I don't really have friend groups, but I guess like when I watch the Sidemen, for example, like I absolutely love how like they're all just friends who are working together, and it feels very much like with the Yogscast to kind of round your thing up into a basic sense, and not that it needs it, but like it's like you're now just friends who do cool shit together, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And we're all kind of sort of similar in ways, but then we offer our own like flavor of personality. We all have our own, for lack of a better term, brands of humor, brands of approaching things. So like I'm not sure whether people will be like, oh, they think of me and I'm synonymous with Yogscast. I'm kind of like a supporting character in a large cast of characters, and I'm quite happy with that. I don't need to be the main character or anything. I'm just like excited to be part of something that I just wouldn't necessarily get if I didn't join, So it feels like one of the better decisions I've made since I started streaming, for sure. So I'm really happy. It's nice.
You know what I love about you, and it's not to say that other people who have come on the podcast aren't like this, but you just sound genuinely so passionate about everything that you do. Like, I just, you say everything you've said so far about all the positive stuff like that is you sound so genuinely invested in it, and I love that so much. And again, that's not to say other guests aren't like that, but you get the idea.
Yeah, no, I do feel really strongly about this. I'm doing my dream job, and every day I feel blessed that I have my own schedule. I have an absolute fucking plethora of friends that all do what I do, and they're brilliant people as well. They're so funny, so talented and hardworking, and what an honor to be able to call myself a part of that, a part of a group of just great people and to think, oh my God, they like me too. That's exciting. Oh my God, this is insane. Like what a wonderful treat. I'm not just going to work and sort of forced to make friends with the colleagues because they're there, and then come home and be like, finally work's over. I can be excited to do what I do and be excited to look forward to things like Jingle Jam. I'm really excited for Jingle Jam. Just, it's great. It's really funny talking to the production team who run Jingle Jam, and they're always so tired and so exhausted because they put so much work in. So the least I can do is do what I do best, because they essentially do all the work and I just have to turn up, and it's it's bloody fantastic, really. So yeah, I can't help but be really positive about it, because it really is great. It is really fantastic. I'm done with being a whinge bag. I could be a whinge bag, but I can't be a whinge bag when it comes to this stuff, because I know I'm very lucky and I know I'm very fortunate. And just blessed. Hashtag blessed.
What are some of your favorite memories from this dream job then?
I mean,
things that you maybe haven't mentioned as well, or you can repeat. Well, you can repeat some things. It's completely. I'm just curious.
I guess the PR answer is to go wow, I've raised so much money for charity that I couldn't even imagine doing when I was younger. That's the PR answer, and it's definitely an answer. But I think the best part about this is that I have always been someone who is keen to make people laugh. It's my number one driving force. It's my lifeblood, is to make people laugh and to be as goofy and as cringy and as shocking, but with the goal of making people laugh or making people cringe and laugh, that kind of thing. And to be able to have that crazy amount of freedom to explore all the different ways I can make people laugh, make people have a better day than they otherwise would have on Twitch, where I can, it's pretty broad what you can do on Twitch, believe it or not. It's this wonderful sandbox of I can do a bit randomly, improvising it, and I don't need to worry about involving other people. I don't need to worry about production. I need to worry about if I'm swearing too much, or am I talking about a topic that's going to get my show cancelled, and things like that. Is really, really fulfilling. I can be my true, authentic, stupid, goofy, cringe self, and it's received in spades with positivity. It's kind of amazing, it does things to your ego a little bit, but also oh, it's nice to know that these people come to your stream every single time because I make their day a little better. That alone is just the best. If I could tell a specific story, hard. That's just a thing that's the driving force why streaming is so fun for me and so fulfilling for me, is being able to make people laugh. But in terms of individual stories, I guess meeting some of my best friends ever, through I'll randomly raid someone that has a fun vibe, and now I'm best friends with her, stuff like that is just really cool and really magical. That is really nice to meet other people that really make you laugh. It's so inspiring as well. And then getting to see them in person, it's wow, this feels so real and so fulfilling. This is what life's all about, isn't it? Forming those connections and offering value.
And you've done a fair bit of traveling and stuff as well. You went to, was it, God, I can't find your Twitter. Was it Gamescom you went earlier this week? Oh, no, earlier last week, sorry. Was it? No. You went Gamescom recently, not earlier last week.
Yes. So in August, Gamescom is, for those that don't know, it's the biggest gaming convention in the world these days. And it's one of those ones where when I first went, the first one I went to was last year, and it was so overwhelming. It's massive. This is the foot traffic is 350,000 people or something crazy. That's just mental, and lots of businesses go, lots of game publishers go, PR companies, developers, etc. And then the occasional creator like me, and you do business and you network and you try games. But the best part about Gamescom is that we all go to the pub afterwards, and then you make all kinds of fun friends and have crazy antics, of the non-sober variety, and that's the stuff that's I've always kind of craved as a indoorsy introverted person. It's just getting out the house and going abroad, meeting random people from all over the world, or in my case, I tend to gravitate towards British people because I just can't help it, and connecting with developers and publishers in ways that you're oh, this is so much more meaningful than just email. It's really good. Yeah, it's a good excuse to go to TwitchCon, for example. That happens twice a year. An excuse to go abroad. And because a lot of my friends are American, I can go to, all over the place meeting them And I'm sure a lot of streamers feel the same, as that it's like almost like the best time of the year is TwitchCon, because you can see all your friends that you've been communicating with only through chat.
It's sad that we didn't meet up at TwitchCon. I didn't even know you were there until I saw like you posted about it. I was like, oh, we didn't even bump into each other. Heartbreaking.
Well, if you're going next year, let's definitely make it happen. Okay.
I plan on it. Yeah. I mean, I had a panel this year.
Really?
Yeah. Managing an organization inside Minecraft.
Very cool. Oh my God. That's
hyped.
Awesome that you did a panel. I actually applied to do a panel for San Diego, but it got rejected, which is really sad.
Oh, I'm not going to San Diego. I was going to, but the whole moving out and saving thing.
I was going to say, it's very expensive.
To be fair, when I was going to book my tickets, flights were like £500 and like an Airbnb to share would have cost me like $250, like, which is really good. But then you look at the ticket prices, which are like £220, and then you look at the food and the drink that you're going to be spending there, and all of a sudden you spend like 50 grand, and I'm like, oh, it started off so great.
It's a huge money sink for sure. Luckily it's just once a year, because TwitchCon Rotterdam is usually a lot cheaper to do. Gamescom is really expensive actually, because all the accommodation is disgusting. It's like usually like upwards of £200 a night, and I'm always going to be there like 4 nights, so that's rough. But it's because it's such a massive event, so every hotel hikes the price up.
Well,
if you're lucky to, then you can.
Well, to be fair, it depends. Like, so as soon as TwitchCon announced their dates, I found a hotel and I just reserved it. You pay an extra £40, but then you don't have to pay until you go. So it's like it's a bargain, because then if you're waiting till last minute, either there's no hotels or you're paying like I looked at it just out of curiosity. So the hotel I stayed at this year was silly. It was the same hotel I stayed at last year, and it was just much more expensive. But we stayed there because like we knew where it was and the location and stuff like that. And also I regret it because like it just wasn't as good this year, Rotterdam overall. So like the area was just where we'd stayed was just crap compared to like the last year. Anyways, point is I reserved it and it came to like, I'll be open about it, like £540 for like 5 nights or something.
That's pretty good.
It is. And then I looked closer to the time, like, oh, like a panic buy, let's say like a month before, the price hiked up to like $780. And I was like, for an extra £40, I'm not paying until I get there. And I've just technically saved £160, because like at the time, like I did technically have the money to pay for it in the moment. Also, like I was still half if I was going to TwitchCon, because of just the mindset I was at. And then like, so I was like, I'll just reserve a hotel. And then like, obviously I got the panel, so my tickets were free. And then we found really, really cheap flights. And then I was like, you know what? The hotel's reserved. I'm not going to pay for it now. I'll just pay when I get there for an extra 40 quid, and we're living life.
There you go. Well, yeah, I make a habit of I book next year's whilst I'm there. Because usually they have the dates for the next one pretty quickly. Obviously with TwitchCon, it's like,
oh, so you do the same
they
thing
announce the dates at some point. Yeah, like I found out when it was the following year, like literally whilst I was in San Diego. I think they'd already announced when it was going to be, because they already knew it was going to be in San Diego. So of course they've got, this is the date it's going to be. So I booked my Airbnb like last year. So I'm very excited because it's quite close to the convention center, and that's kind of the hope. It's like not too expensive, not too far away. So that's what I do. And for Gamescom as well, I do the same.
I was fairly smart last year, and I'm very proud of myself for this. So obviously they took a while to announce the Rotterdam dates. Like they didn't exactly leave it last minute. They just didn't announce it as early as they normally would. So what I did was I took a gamble. I took a gamble of like 3 weeks when like TwitchCon could be happening. So I just reserved every single week, and then I just cancelled the 2 weeks that like it didn't happen, and then the third week it happened, which was the most expensive one. But it happened. I was like, you know what? Wow, now I just have like a guaranteed hotel reserved.
Good idea actually. I haven't thought to do that. I think that's quite a lot of like money to commit to, but it totally makes sense.
But you're not, because you're just reserving it. It's like I said, for an extra £40, it's reserve, pay when you get there, cancel anytime.
Right. Gotcha.
That's
Understood.
what I do. So like I pay an extra £40, so be it. Yeah, but then also I get in before they hike the price up, and they're not going to change the price once it's reserved. So like if I reserve it for like £500, right, but I don't pay until I get there, as soon as they announce the dates, the hotels are rushing, changing their prices. Suddenly, oh, what, it's £700 now if I buy it right now? What the heck? But like 2 weeks ago, before they announced the dates, it was 500. So,
fair enough. Clever.
Tactics. It's all about tactics. Sadly, not every hotel does it, but I have a Genius level 2 on booking.com, so I get the discount and stuff as well. I try hard this shit. Well, with that being said, as much as I'd love to talk more, you sadly have a stream that you gotta go to. So
I do. I tend to stream it. Well, sadly for me too. I mean, unless you have like another topic you want to talk about, is there something that you want to? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I had one question.
Make time.
I had one question. Yeah. Is there a reason for the tattoo on your right shoulder?
The tattoo on my right shoulder. That's the flowers.
Right? Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's so interesting you asked about that, because I have, 3 tattoos, we'll say 3 tattoos, because they're like 3 clusters, because I've got one that has like 5 different creatures on it, and they were added after I added the whale, but I consider it like one tattoo. Does that make sense? But the one on my shoulder is the only one where I literally was just like, I want to... Do you know what? Do you know what? You know what an ABG is? I'm
gonna say no, just for the sake of hearing it, I guess.
It stands for Asian baby girl, which is essentially it's an archetype where picture like an attractive Asian woman. She's got like big hoop earrings. She's got like really, really like sharp makeup. She's wearing like, I don't know, like a black tank top or a crop top or something. And, you know, like, and she's got tattoos. And that tattoo on my shoulder, I saw my friend had something similar, and I was like, I think I'd look hotter if I had this tattoo. So I got it done. I got it done purely for aesthetics.
Fairly recent as well, right?
It is, yeah. This year I got it, and I love it. And it's just like, I've always liked my shoulders, and it just adds a little extra. Just adds a little extra. Like, yeah, like, you know, like now I feel like I'm living my ABG life that I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's literally, there's no like special meaning behind it. There's no sentimentality whatsoever. So it really is just, I wanted to look good. Because that's the only one.
I have some tattoos as well, but only 2 of them about to be free have meaning behind them. So I have a tattoo on my chest which says Heart of a Hero. It's someone called AJX. They do like charity fundraising, and so with an incentive that I'd made for an event, we raised about 2k. So I said to him, if you also raise 2k in your event with the same incentive that I created, then like I'll get a tattoo. So he did, and then I'm getting another one which is a shooting star, because we raised over 3k for Make-A-Wish, like the ones that I organize. So like I'm gonna make it a thing now. Every single time I raise over 2k for a charity, I'm just gonna get the like something related to it tattooed on my chest. And then I have
great idea.
And then I have a Highland cow on my calf, which is a double meaning.
That's
meaning?
So funny. I was just thinking of getting exactly that. But go on.
First meaning is because of that, because it's funny as fuck that I have a cow on my calf. Second meaning is because my girlfriend absolutely loves cows. So I got, instead of getting her name tattooed, because I'm not doing that, I got a cow tattooed, and that way then, touch wood, hopefully nothing ever happens. If it does, the cow on my calf.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even kidding. I've literally thinking about getting that as my next tattoo. Because I became vegetarian last year. I've always loved cows in particular, and I've always I quit beef many years ago. And so I just have like a particular love for cows. And I thought, yeah, where would be a good place to put a cow? Oh yeah, put it on my calf. That's hilarious. Then we've had the same fucking thought. That's so good.
I'll send you a picture if I can find it on my phone and I remember tonight. I'll shoot you a picture of it. But it's genuinely such a beautiful tattoo, because like, so lovely. we have one, and this is the last thing I'll say because I don't want to do the outro. Is my the tattoo artist who's done all of my tattoos. So I have a lion on my right arm with like the I have a lion on my left arm with like the bottom, like there's like, it's like a big lion and then a small lion like facing inwards on a mounting, and I have a wolf on my right arm, and then the wolf at the bottom is facing inwards. So if I put my like arms together, they're like howling at each other. So I have that, and then I have like mum and dad tattooed on me, which were just my first tattoos, because like to get a feeling for it. But the tattoo artist who's done my tattoo, she's done nearly all of my dad, she's done all of my mum's, all of my brothers, and now all of mine, and she's done pretty much most of my partners. So like I will only go to her. Like if I go on holiday and someone's like, oh, let's get a tattoo, I'll be like, you can get it, and then I'll get it later at home with her. So just I go to the same place, but the dragon and the sea creatures were one person, and the shoulder one was a totally different person who's actually left now. They've left the UK, so I can't get another one from them, sadly, but it's okay. Calf will likely be the original artist. That's the goal. Sorry, the cow. I'm not sure. I could go for a calf. Calf on a calf? Calf on a cow?
Yeah, cow. Well, where's the cow on the body exactly?
Well, the cow would be on your calf, but inside the cow, they'd have a tattoo of a calf.
Oh, Oh my god. The Inception. Tattooception.
Oh my god. Well, with that being said, that sadly brings the end of this week's Inside MC. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been lovely just waffling about. I mean, I feel like there wasn't really much interviewing happening here. I think we just did a lot more just waffle.
I hope that's okay with you. Hopefully that's entertaining for listeners as well.
I mean, I find it entertaining. I'm not complaining. It's just more so like if you expected to come on to be interviewed and it turned into I mean, I let it go the direction that the guest wants to take it. So if you're going down the direction of general waffle, I can just pick up on that really quickly. Otherwise, if you're going down the thing of like you want to be interviewed, I can also pick up on that. And I feel like this was a really fun like just waffle podcast. So
well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. I do love a good yap. So it works for me.
Before I do the outro here though, I always like to give this opportunity for you to promote yourself. So for anyone who's listened all this way, doesn't know who you are, and absolutely wants to find out about you or just love to chat, all that kind of jazz, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/LOLIPOPGI, Lolipopgi. And I stream 4 days a week or 4 nights a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, which is where I'm going to be in 25 minutes is on my stream. Obviously, you're not going to hear it when you get this, but maybe when it's released,
well,
because released around that time.
This podcast comes out on Friday at 4 o'clock, so you'll be live Friday night. If I just
will.
Didn't make up yeah, there you go. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I will be live that day. So hopefully I'll see you there. If you do hear this and you go to my stream as a result, make sure you hop into chat and be like, hey.
So what's Jingle Jam?
I'm from Inside MCC. Ask about Jingle Jam.
Do you know what's really funny, by the way? And I didn't pick up. I didn't correct you earlier, but I'm just going to do it now. There's only one C.
Oh, is it really?
MCC is the tournament called Minecraft Championships.
Oh yeah, my god, it is. See, we're both. You were saying Yogscast earlier. We're both correcting each other.
What are you on about? I never called it Yogscast, huh?
I know. That definitely didn't happen.
I've been saying Yogscast this entire time. You're just making up lies to make me look bad.
Oh my god, MC. Gosh, I must have got confused. And now I feel very embarrassed.
No. Well, to be fair, you said it once at the very start, and okay, right. I'm saying one thing here, right, and it's law because I don't want to shit on the person, but I'm going to say it, right. Someone like invited me to a video to do like a video with them, and my close friends, if they listen to this, will know about this, right? It's very, very quick law, sorry, because this is meant to be your outro. They invited me to a video, pretty much did absolutely like zero research on me for the most part. Like, it was like a quick PvP video, then end it off with go check out the Inside Out podcast, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna correct you because I can't be bothered. And then also they meant I said to them like, oh yeah, like feel free to just like they was like, oh, what do you want me to promote? I was like, just put the podcast in the description. Sure. Like I haven't uploaded on my Insane Orbitz channel in like over a year now, so like that channel's dead and gone. Like it has 30k subscribers, but just leave it. So they tagged me in the description. Thank you very much at Insane Orbitz, and I was like, you know what? That's the only reason you did that is because you don't know what the podcast is. Like you've done no research on me, pretty much. It was just funny. Like at least you were close. At least you didn't like literally name it after a movie. So
yeah, exactly. So Inside MC, Inside Minecraft, I assume.
Yeah, it used to be called Inside Minecraft before EULA, and then I changed it just in case.
I see.
But yeah, sorry. Okay. Yes, go check out Lolip. They make amazing content. I love their streams, and obviously our first interaction being during Jingle Jam was great, and I feel like this is a really cool second interaction as well. I'm very happy.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me, Orbitzz. I appreciate it.
Well, this has been Inside MC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.
What?
I'll explain off the podcast.